Hello and good morning. Now, the magical letter for today is W. Why? Because it's Wednesday and we have another Wonder Women. Wow, really?
Wow.
Wonder Women Wednesday, WWW edition.
And of course, Winfrey is also standing here, so another W. That is magical.
W.
You know? And of course, the show is still Wake Up Nigeria, another W. But today, we're adding a little more gumption. And as always, this edition is going to pay homage to all women around the world.
Yes, so of course, we're going to be doing this with you the whole time. We never forget to bring loads of excitement and loads of fun and sometimes some tongue twisters into the mix.
So make sure you sit tight and enjoy a panoramic view of all things amazing we're about to bring to you.
An all-access pass to some beautiful ladies, beautiful memories. And we're going to be making all those right here on the show this morning.
And of course, we have so much coming. Of course, we have the kitchen segments, but that's much for later. So yeah.
Everybody's looking forward to the kitchen.
Of course.
And we're going to be going strong for another 1 hour and 45 minutes. We expect to have you right there with us all through.
Because trust us, a lot has gone into preparing this potpourri of amazements this morning. My name is Winfrey Agboleshe.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson. Stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv or Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also connect with us. Send in your comments on socials. We'll be right there sitting pretty at TVC Connect.
Of course, and for on-the-go access to us, you can also download the app on both Android and iOS stores. You will also find us on YouTube at TVC Entertainment.
So now to what we have on the show. Tolani Fashion is a registered dietitian and member of the Association of Nigerian Dietitians and Nutritional Society of Nigeria. She will be joining us to talk about the dangers of replacing real milk with the intakes of nut milk. Amaka Chike Mbonu is a motivational speaker and certified counselor. She has a special interest in couples counseling, and she's joining us on relationships this morning. We'll be discussing immaturity and how it affects us in our relationships.
Samsa Chukwu, a.k.a. Queen Jennifer, is a rapper, singer, and songwriter who has a couple of songs to her credit and is out with a new single titled This Song. She will be performing this live later on the show, so stay tuned.
And then we'll be rounding things off with a conversation with Obi Maduegbu, classically trained stage and screen actor and producer. He played lead in the recently released movie The Order of Things. He also produced and co-wrote a semi-biographical play called Chapters. All right, so it's going to be another wonderful Wonder Women Wednesday.
Yes, you know, of course.
Tongue
I like
twisters
your hair,
get me too. Thank you, thank you. I'm actually trying something new. It's not, I'm not used to it yet.
Yeah, but it's pretty.
The long hair thing is...
You should try things new often.
Yeah, so there was something you talked about earlier on today, and it made me
Have you ever been bitten by a snake?
Really?
No.
Which kind of question is that?
No, it's very...
Is this metaphorical?
No.
No? Real?
Literal, yeah.
I've never even seen one up. Okay, I think I've seen one in the zoo.
Really?
That's all.
Did you go to boarding house? Yes, you did.
No.
You didn't?
No.
Wow, are you serious?
I was at Ajebota.
Okay, so I saw this post on social media. Wow, meaning words. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, anyways, I've seen a lot of snakes. I've not killed any yet.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I saw this post, and the lady was literally talking about, she was really angry, upset. She was talking about how snakes should not just be killed like randomly. That if you see a snake, even if it's charging towards you, you should make sure you take a break, right? And check if it's poisonous.
Really?
How can you do that? So you have to first look at the tail.
Oh.
Examine it. Is it round and flat?
Oh.
If it isn't, then kill it.
Okay.
If it is, don't. Then also check the teeth.
Oh.
If they're all even, means the snake is not poisonous.
Really?
Right? If it has fangs, it is poisonous.
So how exactly do you examine those teeth? You take it and open it and look inside the mouth, or take a flashlight and, you know,
when
I don't know.
When the snake is coming towards I don't want to kill you. Let's have a conversation.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Let's now examine and see and be sure. But then again, what are other ways you actually try to prevent? Do you actually take active steps to preventing snakes in your environment, especially now when it's raining?
I've actually, I've had this kind of conversation, not just snakes, rodents, unwanted things in your environment. There's actually some gardeners that can help you. They'll give you special types of plants that you can plant in and around your compound.
I hear lemongrass.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I hear lemongrass chases them away.
But I feel lemongrass kind of long and scary. I don't know. I don't like lemongrass. But I'm just saying, if you're really concerned about things like that, make sure your environment is very clean, free of bushes and stuff like that. You shouldn't have issues like that. They say onions might have an impact. I don't know whether it's the growing onions in your compound or actual onions.
Just chopping it and probably laying it around or something. I know they're normal, they're general, natural ways to actually get rid of all of these things. And another thing I hear is that if you notice that you're in a swampy environment and you don't see rats, just know that there's probably a snake around feeding on them. Exactly. So it's crazy because life, must create a balance. So I don't know.
I heard the same about cats too, actually, funny enough. And if you start seeing cats, that means there are a lot of rats in their environment. Hello and good morning. It's time for a news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We're staying with the scarcity of fuel, which appears to have come to stay in parts of the country. Here in Lagos, the queues are getting longer by the minute, and residents spend longer hours waiting for the once available commodity. TVC correspondent Theophilus Elema in Lagos reports that citizens are asking government to do more in alleviating the daily sufferings that they've been subjected to.
The crowd, the confusion and frustration it brings, and now normal sight at petrol stations within the city of Lagos. This is in contrast to the situation at some other stations. Though the product is not being sold here, black marketers have taken over the business. On seeing the camera, we could not speak with them, but we learned the price is more than 70% higher than the regulated price of 165 naira per litre. 3 days into the scarcity in Lagos, economic activities are already reflecting the harsh reality, as many commuters are stuck with no transportation in sight.
When I was coming to from my house, I live in Ayege. This month I spent 400 naira instead of 200 naira. The issuer money from Ayege to Ikeja is 200. From Ikeja to Ojota, it's 200. How long are we going to continue with this? So government has to do something very fast.
This country, we are tired about this country. I go so many fuel stations, of them in the same queue I'm facing. So I've been the one on Ikeja, the same thing. So what we are seeing now is like no fuel, or let them open up, tell us there is no fuel, then we will know there is no fuel, we'll go and park our car.
For years now, scarcity of petroleum products have become a mainstay in the life of the nation. There is widespread belief that the frequent scarcity is a ploy to further increase the price of the product.
One thing that we do badly in this country is we do not know how to disseminate information to people. At least once you communicate to the people out there, they will prepare their mind and they will have maybe alternatives. But here we are, everybody woke up on Friday and the next thing we saw, queues all over the place.
I've already used almost 1.5 hours here now without seeing anything to buy. I want to buy fuel for my car. There is no drop of fuel in my car now.
The sad reality now is no one knows when this crisis will abate or when life as we know it will come back. The frustration is palpable and many believe hope is lost for the country. Theophilus Elema, TVC News, Lagos.
Now, outside Nigeria, French President Emmanuel Macron has rejected a resignation offer from the Prime Minister he appointed, saying instead that the government must stay on task and act. Elizabeth Borne was criticized by some commentators after Mr. Macron's coalition lost its majority on Sunday. Her future looked under threat after the result, which left the president needing to secure support from rivals. He's set to meet his political opponents for rare talks on Tuesday, but neither Marine Le Pen's far-right nor Jean-Luc Mélenchon's left-green alliance are keen to work with Mr. Macron's centrist government, which is 44 seats shy of a majority and desperately trying to avoid political paralysis. And we'll be back with more.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for some headlines, and I'll be starting today with The Punch. For the major headline here, we have fuel scarcity worsens, black market booms at 300 naira per litre. We have that on page 2 and page 19. Marketers insist on price increase. Fuel stations adjust pumps, hoard products. Motorists lament 100% fare hike. Marketers defer on 1 billion naira payment to NNPC. We can't justify subsidy removal. Western countries subsidizing fuel too. Buhari. And of course, moving to the very top of the newspaper, above the masthead on the strip at the very top, we have cost of power in telecoms services to hit 720 billion naira. We have that on page 25. And right below that, we have a photo of Atiku. And right beside that, we have presidential poll. Atiku raises team to woo Wike Rivers Governor's Camp adamant. We have that on page 2. Buhari nominates 7 ministers, 3 APC senators, dumped parties. We have that on page 16. Body of benchers raises peace panel as Supreme Court justices fight CJN. We have that on page 28. And right beside that, we have a photo of Mr. Mohammed. And of course, we have photos here of NYSC coppers from Lagos, Ondo, Rivers and Nasarawa states. And right below that photo, we have NYSC swears in coppers, warns against fake news. And of course, we have council fumes probes states for sacking 9,392 teachers. We have that on page 15. 2,079 die in 68 mass killings. Reports, we have that on page 8. Electoral Act, Rep moves to override Buhari's veto stalled. We have that on page 16. And that's all I'll be taking for The Punch. Moving quickly on now, we have The Nation. And for the major headlines, we have why we dropped subsidy removal plan by Buhari. And at the very top of the newspaper there, above the masthead, we have to the very left, President orders security chiefs to rescue train attack victims now. We have that on page 28. Ikimi fire shake clash over PDP's loss in Ekiti poll. We have that on page 6. Adegoroye, Umana, 5 others tipped as ministers. We have that on page 28. Sanwo-Olu heads 86-man Osun Electoral Council. We have that on page 30. And of course, we can see a photo there of Justice Mohammed, and right to the left of it, we have petrol scarcity worsens, and to the right of it, we have Justice's memo, CJN defends Supreme Court integrity, and we have a photo right here below the masthead of obviously, talking about Lagos condemns illegal excavation of wetlands in Magodo. We have that on page 5. And for the strip there, we have Wike's temperament denied him VP slot, says ex-governors. We have that on page 4. And that's all I'll be taking for the headlines this morning.
All right, welcome to the kitchen right here with us on Wake Up Nigeria. Today is a Wonder Woman Wednesday, meaning we have loads of great topics to talk about, especially with regards to our women folk. There was a tweet that Winfrey saw and decided to share with us, and we thought it would be great for us to talk about. Do you want to read out the tweet? Or?
Yeah, of course. So there's this lady, right? She speaks about how she turns 30 in a few weeks, and she's literally taking stock, right, of everything she's done, and she's happy about where she is now, and she's really grateful for things she did in her 20s, right? So she talks about how she learned to prioritize things that were most important, and the top of it on her list were relationships, mental health, and enjoyment. Amongst other things. Correct. So what caught my eye was number 4. She said, I got a will and a power of attorney, right? And in her 20s. So I'm like, okay, fine. How many of us have wills and power of attorneys?
I even have the way I want to be buried. I actually have it planned. Wow. Yes, I was still discussing it with my mom on Monday, and she was weirded out, like, why are you always talking about this? And I'm like, I just want everybody to know. Because when I die, I want to have my organs harvested, then cremated. I don't want to be buried in any
casket.
I want to be cremated. Like, cremate me, let my loved ones always see my ash in the house, and if the house burns, let the ash disappear with it. But really, that's what I want. Like, it's something I've always wanted from when I was young. Like, to be cremated after my organs have been harvested to help people who are ill and all.
Yeah.
So my plan is when I'm 40, my birthday gift to myself at 40 is to get all my organs tested and to officially sign up to have it donated.
Amazing. That's like some concrete plan.
So that's something I've always planned.
Very true. I actually thought about that too, harvested organs as well when I actually go. But then again, I thought of the fact that, okay, I want to live a long, healthy life, but then again, I want to die really old. At that age, would your organs still be in top shape?
As a matter of fact, yes, shockingly. So it depends on how you live your life. The way you live your life determines a lot of things. Some people have the wild 20s and believe that when they're 50, 60, since they're not wild anymore, everything will be fine. But if you have, I started planning this from childhood, so I've been trying to make sure I live according to that, knowing that I want to be able to give life to someone else when I go.
Nice.
So the average young woman who is probably unmarried, hits the age of 30, hasn't really thought about anything apart from living the life they have now. They've not thought about what happens next. I think it came to me when I had kids, that, I have to make sure that they are catered to, when life happens.
No, that's talking about having a will.
Yes, having a will, having a power of attorney. I've had this conversation like a few times with my husband and all that. Sometimes he, shakes it off, but then I bring it up again. So I've actually always been very conscious of the fact that life is going to happen. So I've already started taking stock of assets, what I own, what I'm worth, and all those kinds of things, and who I would like to give it to.
Yeah.
But why is it that it's such a hard conversation for people to have?
Nobody wants to talk about death. I think that's where the problem is. So I've lived a very colorful life. Colorful in the sense that my background is varied. So my grandpa, of blessed memory, is Muslim, or was Muslim. He died last year. And my parents, of course, Christians. And so I was able to learn both ways.
Yeah.
So if you have an Islamic background, you know quite well that death will happen anytime. Now, we're not trying to be morbid, but it's just being realistic. And so with that in mind, you have to prepare for it because it can happen anytime.
Anytime, exactly.
So there's even a Yoruba saying of, you can say it will take a long time and it might just come suddenly. You just have to accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that we want to die young. Nobody wants to die young. Everybody wants to live long. But it's always good to get certain important things sorted out.
Very true.
But we have this Nigerian mentality that when I die, everybody should know my property belongs to my children. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way.
Very true.
There are people who even have wills, and your child will still not get anything from that will. Talk less of those who don't even have wills.
Exactly.
Some people don't even realize that next of kin doesn't mean that the person you write as next of kin is going to get access to all the things you have. Exactly. They don't have access to your bank accounts. They don't have access to all your assets unless you've actually written it somewhere, had it signed, and have someone to even execute that will for you. That's even another bit of drama. People that even have wills don't even know that it needs to be executed. There's a lot of conversations that need to be had. Young women, people that are just getting married should start having these conversations. How come you watching us right now haven't had that conversation? Is it freaking you out? Tell us. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let's know what you think.
Welcome back. And of course, you're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, right here with me is Chef Blossom. As you already know, the superstar chef of Wake Up Nigeria.
You know.
Okay, so today we're making something that looks interesting already. So now tell me, what exactly are we making this morning?
We're making yam porridge. Yeah, yam porridge.
Simple. Just yam, no complication. Just yam porridge. So what exactly do we need to bring this to life?
Okay, we need our yam, which is our star ingredient for this recipe. We need our oil, palm oil. We need onions, some crayfish, some seasoning cubes, some chili peppers, grounded chili peppers. This is some extra sauce for garnish. Then for this recipe, I'll be using some parsley flakes. If I want to use some curly,
Oh, okay.
Pumpkin leaf, I'll be using some parsley flakes for.
This one is janded porridge because the one we know is ugu that's good inside or scent leaf, but okay.
Oh, we use water leaf or
water leaf, yeah, true. Sometimes I actually mix both spinach and water leaf. Okay.
We're using some chicken broth, and we have our paste tomatoes just to give you some color.
Oh, some chicken.
Some chicken.
Chicken thighs.
Then I have
nice.
a ton of
ginger.
I just like the extra flavor it gives.
It gives. Amazing. So now run me through the preparatory method for this dish quickly.
Okay, it's a one-pot dish. So we'll have our water on heat. So once it gets boiled, we'll put in our chopped yam.
Yam. Okay. So now this yam was been processed. It's been
peeled, washed, and then there's a hack I want to share with you.
Appreciate.
You know when you cut your yam, it changes color. So for you to retain the color as white, you just soak it in the water. I think I've mentioned it on this show before.
Oh, okay.
Leave it in the water.
Okay.
If you bring it out, it starts changing color.
Oh, amazing. And see, it's still very white.
Yes.
Nice. And how are you coping with the price of yam in the market now?
It's very expensive.
Hey.
Very expensive.
But God will help us. Okay, so after that?
So then we'll chop in our onions. We'll chop some, or you can blend your onions to make a puree.
Okay.
Or you just slice slice in bits. Then when you toss in the yam, after the water gets hot, right, you put in your onions, allow it to heat up, then a pinch of some salt to give you some taste. Then it's a one-pot dish, just add in your ingredient. Some person might want to ask how I will go.
Yeah, how exactly. That's literally what I was waiting for.
There are two ways to it. You could decide to make a sauce
separately.
Then
okay.
Put it in. Then you can put it inside directly from the scratch, so
it
gets properly cooked again.
Oh wow! It's not going to have that taste, sour, tangy taste.
Not really.
It won't.
Cook it very well.
Very well.
It won't.
It won't.
So it has to go just after the onions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then of course, what else?
So this vegetable oil is being used to fry chicken, of course. So we just want to use it to fry our chicken. And this is the last thing that goes in for porridge.
Why?
The reason is because if you put, I don't know how true that is, but if you put your palm oil when this thing is not, it won't get done.
Wow, the yam won't get done.
Even with beans too, if you're cooking beans, palm oil is usually the last thing to put.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, if not, the beans won't get cooked or the yam won't get cooked.
Any of
them won't get cooked on time. Okay, that's new. We learn every day. So now, before we go in, you spoke about how, okay, fine, this oil has been used before. So now we can see a few particles, we can see some time in it and all of that. So how can we actually clean our oils to reuse again?
Okay, so you could use this sieve, this what's it called? This sieve they use to sieve out flour.
Oh, okay.
You could use it to
the fine one. Okay.
Yes. You could use it to sieve it out, so the particles rest, and then you
can fry. Yes. I also heard you can use cornstarch. You mix a little cornstarch with water, pour it in the oil while on fire.
Extra.
Funny enough, they said the cornstarch will absorb all the particles.
All the particles.
My dear, I saw it was like magic. Absolute magic.
New,
very new, right? Okay, amazing. Oh yeah, now so let's get started. Our water is already on fire.
So waiting for our water to heat up.
To get hot and all of that. So why did you decide to go with parsley instead of normal?
Okay, I have to be truthful.
Yes, be truthful.
So I didn't have enough time to go to the market.
Okay.
And of course, you see the results. It looks very fine.
No, I know you're a fresh chef as well, so she's always giving us gendered things. You know? So right about now, we're going to leave Chef Blossom to literally get on with the cooking, and we'll head over to a couch where we have a very interesting conversation for you.
Thank you very much, Winfrey. Okay, it's time for us to talk relationships, and to do justice to that is Amaka Chike Mbonu. She is a motivational speaker and a certified counselor with special interest in couple counseling. She has joined us today to talk about maturity and how it affects relationships. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Lovely to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, so when we talk about maturity, there's always that thing about people wanting to say, okay, maturity is this, maturity is that. So I'm just going to let you, as the expert, tell us what maturity actually is.
Well, I'm going to talk about maturity in relation to marriage and relationships. And it will be having come of full age, and so being able to make logical and rational decisions in your relationship in the context of a relationship, of a romantic relationship. That's what it would be. You know, and it's not always necessarily a function of age. So to come into full maturity for marriage, which is supposed to be a permanent relationship, you need to be mature. It's not for sissies.
It's definitely not for sissies. Now let's talk about maturity. Now, what defines maturity in a relationship? Like, what are those traits you need to have before you can say, I'm mature and I'm in a relationship?
Okay, one of the first things is you need to know yourself. You know, you need to have come to the point where you actually know who you are, what you want, what you like, and what you absolutely don't like. And then have the ability, as I always say, to communicate it to somebody else. You also have to have had the ability to the emotional intelligence to interact with another person, giving room for their weaknesses and your weaknesses and playing on your strengths. All this will be the dynamic that will come into play to show that you're mature enough for a relationship. And also the ability to have staying power. I know a lot is said about, you know, it's not how long you can suffer, but on the other hand too, it's not, the maturity will dictate that you are able to withstand certain things that may come your way.
Indeed. Now, there's something you mentioned which caught my attention. First, you mentioned the fact that when you're in a relationship, especially when it comes to maturity, EI is important.
Yes.
However, EI, in most cases, especially in this part of the world, does seem to be a way to take advantage of situations. So, say, for example, as a female, the culture, in quotes, requires you to be more emotionally intelligent. And so you are expected to, in quotes, manage situations better, monitor your husband's moods, for example, before tabling a matter and all. However, at what point does it go from EI to abuse?
Well, I absolutely don't even agree completely with that fact that the woman is the one who is supposed to manage her emotions and sort of pamper to the needs of her husband. It's kind of a situation of it's not this or that, it's kind of this and that. To some degree, each person in the relationship should do that. And just because something is cultural doesn't make it right. So I actually stand against that. Yeah, it doesn't make it right. You know, some things, culture evolves even, and as we learn better, then we do better. So I don't even agree with that. It should be a mutual situation where both people are mature, both people are managing each other's moods and, you know, looking out for the other person, managing their weaknesses to a degree and helping them get better and then bringing both strengths into the relationship. So I actually don't agree with that. I feel that culture sometimes even draws us back. Culture is good, but we have to be careful with culture.
So in the case of emotional intelligence, how then do you really exhibit it?
I think it's in this place of knowing yourself. One, honestly, in terms of even maturity, you need to be mature enough to know that the kind of person you even agree to spend the rest of your life with is very important because it's going to play into the marriage.
Yes.
And so for emotional intelligence, I think, like I said, it's not just for the woman, it's for both parties to be emotionally intelligent. And I've kind of, I think, missed the trend of your question, but it's for both parties to be emotionally intelligent, not just for the woman to be that way. Relationship is 100-100, both people bringing two things together that then make the relationship work.
Now let's talk about staying power, because you also mentioned staying power. We are in a society and even in a world where many people will tell you that if it's not working, leave. And so when we talk about not working, we're talking about if it's getting abusive, if it's affecting you, especially your well-being and all of that. But then how can you then measure staying power? Because staying power is supposed to be a case of till death do us part, through sickness and health,
yes,
sorrow and joy, for better, for worse.
Yeah.
So when we talk about staying power, it's expected that you're supposed to stay through it all. But then how do you know when how can you be mature enough to know, okay, I have to draw the line here?
Well, one thing I'm going to say is that abuse of any kind, is just a no-no. There may be a need, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's difficult to answer it in the time we have. But abuse is a no-no. If there's abuse, there is going to be need, if not necessarily for a divorce immediately, for some kind of separation. So the person who is doing this tries to get help, and because some sicknesses lend themselves to treatment, some don't. So to see if that person can work it out.
Some people don't want to seek help.
Some people don't want to seek help. So these are all the things that will come into consideration. So, in that case, there is a need for some kind of a separation. And even with infidelity, in some cases, there may be a need to, cause some kind of separation and then see what happens next. But when you talk about how do you know about staying power, my answer to that would be, You see, marriage shouldn't be entered into frivolously. And it should also not be left precipitately.
Yes.
It's difficult to say what staying power is because it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Absolutely.
It's almost like on a case-to-case basis. But in my years, in my capacity as a counselor, have I come to the conclusion that sometimes there is a need for some kind of break for people to get their, act together. Yeah. I think that's a fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Amaka. Thank you so much.
Being here.
So basically, have a proper EI. Staying power should be on your mind, and that, of course, makes up the most of maturity.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
for your time. Thank you so much for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Lovely to be here.
All right, and with that, we take a break now. When we get back, we have so much more for you on Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us.
Okay, so yes, we're back in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen, still with Chef Blossom. We're making yam porridge, right, with a twist, because instead of using our normal leaves, we're using parsley leaves today because we're fresh like that, okay? So now the water is actually getting quite hot, right? So we'll put our yam into, wow, like for me.
One thing is, sorry to cut you. Some persons don't know how to portion their water for yam.
I was going to talk about that as well.
So because I'll be using my chicken broth, so I'm going to be very careful with the amount of water because this is also liquid.
Yes.
So your water is just supposed to be a little bit like, I say 1 centimeter.
Just
okay. Above the yam, just the way you
above the yam, okay.
Yes. So you don't need so much
So
water.
much, okay.
And for the Yorubas, I'm like, asaro, they want it very, very...
Very fluid.
You can now decide to watch your water. Don't go and start
pouring all the water, right? It's better to add water with time than just have...
Incrementally, instead of just pouring.
Yes.
So, as you can see, we have just the right amount of water for this.
For this? Okay, nice. Nice, nice, nice. And then, of course, water is hot. Have you put our salt yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I didn't even know we actually have to have the water hot before we put it. Me, I just put the water and the yam, they are going together. Please, we boil together.
That's a trick. I think it's more of a mental thing.
Okay.
If you have your water hot, the hotter it is, the faster.
The faster everything cooks,
ginger.
So I'm actually even the patient one. Okay, so now in case you're just joining us, we're making yam porridge right now, right here with Chef Blossom. And the ingredients you need are this. Our star ingredients, of course, yam, onions, palm oil, parsley flakes, seasoning cubes, grounded crayfish, amongst other things, which are we have some salt, right? Already fried sauce here. And of course, she's using tinned tomatoes and broth, chicken broth.
Some onions.
Onions.
You want to go overboard with onions for porridge, any form of porridge. For beans porridge, yam porridge, plantain porridge. I love to use lots of onions.
Okay.
This thing onions does to porridges. So this here, we have our rodo, fresh pepper, garlic, and ginger.
Okay.
And was fried with some vegetable oil, if you want to ask.
That's about
so now I'm going to put in...
So now we're putting the broth. Okay.
So it cooks together and gives you that...
so it enters inside and really affects it.
Yes.
Nice.
So this is chicken broth. You might use your big meat stock, your beef stock, water, any of which can go.
Okay.
So because we have our broth now, we won't put some salt.
Because already spiced or be seasoned up.
Spiced.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. And of course, we have some ginger.
Yes.
And we're still going to go in with our onions much later. I mean, I think we're making progress here.
It's a one-pot dish. So.
It's a one-pot dish. Yes. But if you fry this one in another place, it will now be 2 pots.
2 pots, yeah.
Okay, so I noticed you actually chopped some onions and then that's a different cut.
I want to have this blended.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Aside the fact that onions is very hot, I don't like to chop onions. Because we have our ginger, so we have to blend it together.
Okay. So we have some. So when do you put this chopped one in?
Now. I'll put it now.
Now. So when do you put the blended one in?
Almost the same time.
The same time?
Yes.
Just to give it different flavor. Are you the kind of people that also put onions on top of your dish when you're done cooking?
Yes. Jollof rice is heavenly.
You can't live with my friend. She's going to run out of the house. Okay, that's actually nice. So now we actually have our yam on fire with the chicken broth all simmering up as we prepare our onions to go in as well. And we're here now. Still here. We're still here. Yes. The yam is still on fire. Okay, and we brought out the second pan. We want to actually prep that to make the sauce we need. The yam is actually boiling.
Yes.
And boiling. I noticed you didn't add any potatoes or plantain, just plain yam porridge. I mean, these days, I think the way food is evolving, I think it blows my mind. I can't remember.
Being so creative.
Exactly. But would you call it, to you, what's the extreme? Where do you think you won't be able to go?
Nothing is extreme. Whatever satisfies your taste buds is fine.
That's not right, too.
So I would have done, actually right.
No, it's not.
There was something I saw yesterday that I felt like.
I saw a video. Okay. Somebody was making eba. They put butter inside.
No.
Oh, no. I thought you said anything that satisfies your waist, but they said to get fluffy eba. They put butter inside. I'm like, how? Where do they actually stop? So what's the weirdest combination you've seen?
I've made. I've seen, okay.
Yes.
What have I seen? I think I've seen rice with okra soup.
Oh, gee. What's the weirdest you've done?
I've done. I don't think I've done any.
But the creativity is great and welcome, but then again, I think there should be a limit, to be honest. Amazing. Anyways, I even heard that eba was not even fluffy in the end. That was actually strong. So what was that the point?
Fluffy, that's why she
added butter. Do you understand?
It doesn't work like that.
Ah, God.
Eba is eba.
Eba should be eba. Anyways, right now, in case you're just joining us, we're still making yam porridge, right? And of course, the ingredients are here. Palm oil. We have some vegetable oil, right? For the sauce, we want to fry with the tin tomatoes and, of course, some peppers and all that. We have chicken for the side, and we have salt, parsley, crayfish, seasoning cubes, and, of course, our star ingredients, yam. And, of course, the stock has actually gone inside already. When we're done, it's definitely going to come out as a very sumptuous meal of yam porridge.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Some persons don't like to make yam porridge with palm oil.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know if you've seen that. They'll tell you, okay, they use vegetable oil. They just make sauce like stew.
Okay.
Stew, then they just pour it in.
And just eat yam and stew. We want to use yam and stew.
Yeah. I wonder, what's not the
point? That's the point. The palm oil puts the porridge in the porridge. Anyways, right about now, we have to go on a very quick break. And of course, when we come back, it's top of the hour. So do not go anywhere.
You didn't think it was over, did you? Hey, of course not. We're here. We're the show that keeps on giving.
Absolutely. And what we have to give still this morning is just a little more than remarkable.
Top of the morning to everyone once again. Welcome to the Wonder Women edition of your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
1 hour flew by already, but as it is, as always, the Vice we still have another 45 minutes to go.
So Chef Blossom has been running things in the kitchen, and she's good to go, even though we're all salivating right here, waiting for it to come out of that pot. That yam that you've been boiling since, what was happening?
So, Chef Blossom, you know, I didn't see the color thing you told me about until this morning. Yeah, so she told me yesterday to wear green, but I didn't see it. I had worn my dress, so yeah, that's why we have this going on. Just pulling the legs.
I was wondering.
We definitely offer unrestricted access to fantastic programming here on TVC by going the extra mile just for you.
Yes, so we have to say thank you, especially to our e-community, all of you watching online. We appreciate it that you make a date with us every morning right here on TVC.
And now let's start by making every single moment count. My name is Winfrey Egbedeshe.
My name is Titilayo Onyison. Stream this show live at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also send in those comments. We had a conversation earlier. The comments are really important to us. Just use TVC Connect on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're right there all through the day.
Make sure you stay connected to a fantastic content on TVC app, which is definitely available for download on both the Android and iOS stores. YouTube is also there for you to play catch up on all the shows we have right here on TVC Entertainment.
We've had a really great motivational relationship discussion earlier today, and that was a good one. And there should be some comments on social media later on. We'll be checking that out. Hopefully you'll check it out too. But we also have Somto Chukwu Ekunefe, aka Queen Jennifer, a rapper, singer, songwriter who has a couple of songs to her credit, and she's out with something new. It's called This Song. She's going to be performing that later on today. Round things off with a conversation. We have Obi Maduegu coming right here to our set. a classically trained stage and screen actor. He's also a producer, someone who played lead in the recently released movie, The Order of Things. He's also produced and co-wrote a semi-biographical play. That play is called Chapters.
You're being suspected for illegal
Nothing worse than that, you know, being there when you're being called out to be arrested. And the person goes,
the person.
Well, speaking of arrests, it feels like the whole of Lagos is under arrest when it comes to this fuel situation.
The whole of Nigeria.
Because
the whole of Nigeria.
Whole of Nigeria, right?
As a matter of fact, what many people don't realize is, despite the many problems in Lagos, one of the perks of living in Lagos is you actually pay one of the cheapest about for fuel.
Wow.
Because the further up north you go, the more expensive it is. While we were paying 165, up north it's been 205, 200 naira per liter.
Actually, yeah.
And so I can imagine how much it costs now for them.
Besides, I mean, in Abuja, there's literally been fuel scarcity for a longer period.
Yes.
Like, it started way before, I mean, it's hitting Lagos, so.
Goodness.
So when it's coming to Lagos, just know it has started elsewhere. So by the time it's biting here, it must be really terrible elsewhere.
So I've just, you know what, it feels like we've been talking about fuel scarcity and electricity issues for so long that it feels like we just need to find other solutions. Solar energy might just be the way right now because finding fuel for gen and for car, it just feels like a lot of work. I'm done.
So, you know, there's this thing about penny wise, pound foolish. Oftentimes, when we talk about, solar energy, people talk about how expensive it is to set up.
Yes.
But it's when someone does the breakdown for you, you realize that on the long run, it's actually a cheaper.
True.
Because the cost of running the solar energy is like changing batteries. If you get quality batteries, you could actually use your battery for up to 3-4 years.
Imagine.
You get very good quality batteries without needing to change them. So, but then, of course, as I said, if you get...
Some people don't connect. Yes, they're not connected with that. But hopefully, people are getting with the program now. I'm not looking forward to finding fuel this week. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, we begin this hour with news coming to us from Abuja, where the queues are getting longer by the minute as residents spend longer hours waiting for the once available commodity. Now, residents of the FCT and its environs continue to groan under the yoke of biting fuel scarcity. Now, in this report, TVC correspondent Joke Adisa in Abuja reports that citizens are asking government to do more in alleviating the daily suffering that they have been subjected to.
In the last 6 months, motorists in Abuja have had no reprieve from perennial scarcity of petrol. Long winding queues leading to loss of quality man hours at petrol stations have become a regular occurrence in Abuja and adjoining states. Illegal fuel vendors, otherwise called black marketers, have gained more ground selling the commodity to stranded motorists at exorbitant prices. Now, motorists say the hardship in the land is becoming unbearable.
The thing they disturb us too much. We go walk in daytime. We go look for work in the night. We know the rest. I beg, make them help us beg our leader.
We the poor masses, we are the ones suffering it. They really know what is going on because they don't come to filling station. They only stay in their house. They send their drivers to come and buy fuel.
Their appeal is for the authorities to alleviate their sufferings, especially with worsening electricity and rising insecurity.
The citizens are actually worried, so I think the government should do something about it.
I'm totally hungry. How to get food and I'm in my issue now. So what now I can talk? See the way the government I will put up for Wahala, buy food and nice, the problem.
Reports say all marketers are having difficulties getting the product and have directed their members to sell at the sustainable price in their environment. Tommy Okon is the first deputy president of the Trade Union Congress. He tells me government is deliberately causing the artificial scarcity to justify subsidy removal.
It's about subsidy. It's about subsidy. Government is clienteling to show the masses that, well, if you allow us remove the subsidy, that you cannot suffer.
Organized labor insists functional refineries are solutions to the current impasse.
We are insisting that government, since you cannot come out clean with the fuel subsidy regime you are talking about, what is the reason that our refineries cannot work? That is the only way out of this quagmire.
The concern for most citizens is that the scarcity of petrol affects a whole lot of economic activities, and government will do well to make the product available and affordable.
Moving on, the joy of two Chibok girls rescued by troops of Theater Command Operation Hadinkai knew no bounds as their continuous stay in captivity has finally ended. The girls, identified as Hawa Dauda and Mary Joseph, were rescued by the military after they escaped from Boko Haram camp. Theater Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, while briefing newsmen at Mai Malari Cantonment in Maiduguri, noted that the rescue came as a result of the ongoing Operation Desert Sanity by troops. Both ladies, who are in their late 20s, are now mothers with a son each. Now, according to the theater commander, the girls would undergo medical and psychological examination to ascertain their health conditions before handing them over to their families.
If you check online, you'll see the list of Chibok girls that are still with the insurgents. So most of them are listed serially. So Hawa Joseph is on serial 18, while Mary Dauda is on serial 46.
And with that, we've come to the end of the news this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come on the show, though. Please stay with us.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. I'm still here with Chef Blossom, and we're still making a yam porridge, right? Okay, so we're almost done, right? Our yam, please, can you open that? Let's see what that looks like. Woo, woo. It's almost there, but now we want to actually fry our stew, right?
And then we'll come back to tell you how we achieve this.
Okay, amazing. Let's go.
Oil is already hit, so we'll just... I'm actually doing this. Some persons just want to put the paste tomatoes directly. But because of the sour taste it will give.
Yeah, so you just want to fry it a bit
yes,
before it goes in.
So it's optional. You may want to use it or not for your porridge.
Okay.
Your paste tomatoes.
Right.
Just add some more color.
Color, yeah. It gives it that dark color that makes it look, really enticing. Amazing. Okay, so now how did we achieve this one?
Yes, so I have with me my porridge matcha.
Okay.
Yes, you could either use this or use your there's this this wooden stick they used to mix cream and butter for cake.
Okay.
But to make sure your
turning stick.
Turning stick. Turning stick, the one.
The round one.
Yes, round one.
Okay.
So you could use it, but make sure your yam is probably soft because if not soft, you stay.
Yeah, it's literally turned into a pudding. Okay, but this is actually, I should actually get this.
This is better.
This is definitely better. So now, what did you use this for?
So I use
and why?
it to mash some of the yam. I don't want all of them. Like I don't want the proper porridge, like asaro. So
you don't want to be biting fat chunks of yam, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So no, I don't want it all like
chunky.
I don't want it all like in a puree form. I want some yam.
So
I mashed some of it.
Okay.
So we have this thickness. It helps to
thicken the
porridge. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Amazing.
So for this paste tomato, you could just add some seasoning
to it
to give you some taste. That's about what we're doing. So once this is done, now just toss it in.
Just pour it in.
Yes.
And then we're ready to go. When does our parsley go in? We've not seen that yet.
After the tomatoes, we'll put in our palm oil.
Okay, the palm oil before the... So, now, question. Why didn't you fry the sauce with the palm oil instead of groundnut oil?
I think for paste tomatoes, I prefer vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil?
Yes, because you won't know when it's fried.
Everything will be red. Everything will be together red. Okay, I mean, that's coming together.
So you see the hack, we're having vegetable oil and palm oil in this.
Of course, definitely. The palm oil is good. This is the palm oil here.
Yes. Original
palm oil. Wow. Okay. So this goes into the yam porridge after the tomato paste is ready and fried. I noticed you didn't put any extra onion in there.
No.
Okay.
You might want to do that because I told you, like I said earlier, go overboard the onion.
Over and over.
It wouldn't hurt.
But this is actually looking together.
Yes.
Looking nice. And the smell as well. I can smell the oil, the yam, all the flavors in there coming together really nicely. Yeah, and of course we have our chicken already fried.
Just for garnish.
Oh, you like enjoyment, Hi, porridge and chicken.
So yesterday I posted a video of me working out. My brother was like, after all this suffering, you eat turkey. Is that it?
So you eat turkey.
You eat turkey. So I like to have some protein in my meal.
We can see it on you. You can see it. She doesn't joke with her enjoyment.
Yes, sir.
No, she doesn't. Amazing. Okay, so that's actually coming together.
Yes.
Coming together
I'll
really
have
nicely.
to go for a bit more.
Is there any trick? How do you know that your paste is ready?
It's
cooked.
It starts having like it starts like it separates itself. Like you see this grainy feeling. You just see it looking grainy, all grainy.
I know a particular brand that looks like this, but I won't call it. I won't say it.
Please don't. Nothing else.
Oh, no, they are not. Absolutely not.
So you don't want to fry your pessimidas too much because once it gets burnt, it tastes in the meal.
It stays very true. Very, very true.
So we'll go with that.
Very true. Okay, so that's ready.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time.
Yes.
So
you can do this with your fresh tomatoes as well. You can have fresh tomatoes.
I think I'd rather you do that.
Yes.
I think I'd rather
have fresh tomatoes.
Now that's going in.
Yes.
Please put it in and turn it. Let's see.
I can't wait to see the color.
Yes, the color, and it's going to change and transform our porridge. Absolutely. Oh yeah, stir it. Stir it. Oh, easy. Easy. Nice. Nice and nice. Okay. Lovely. So now we have our palm oil going as well. And of course, by the time you come back,
we'll be ready.
We'll be ready to go. Definitely in.
Yes, yes. And that has reminded me of something that I must tell you about.
Really?
Yes, 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 yes. You see, God Almighty talks to me.
Are you joking? Oh,
wow. Wow. That was something to watch. Something to watch indeed. Okay, well, it's time for us to wrap things up. Not like now, with a conversation with Obi Madweguna. He is a classically trained stage and screen actor and producer. Yeah. And of course, he played a lead in the recently released movie, The Order of Things. He also produced and co-wrote his semi-biographical play called Chapters. I'm sure it's not part of the biblical chapters you were trying to... So what do you do?
Actually, chapters of my life.
Chapters of your life.
Biographical.
Oh, wow. Nice. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thanks
I
so
love
much.
your shirt, by the way. Very interesting.
Thank you.
You can tell it's tailor-made. Nigerian tailor-made. Am I right?
Sure. Shout out to Nirvana Tailors.
They took some details. Okay, so let's talk about Obi. Who is Obi? Like, there's a lot you see on the internet about a particular artist, but there's no better way to describe them than hearing them describe themselves.
Well, I can say Obi is a child of God. I'm from Anambra State, grew up in Lagos, have a brother and sister. I've always wanted to go into acting from a very young age.
Wow.
I loved film.
So this isn't just something you happened into?
No. It's something that I had actually a background in. You know, my parents were on TV, TV journalists as well. So I was, mixed in that world. And at secondary school, I decided, I'm going to really take this seriously. And I moved to the UK and went to drama school over there, which was a totally whole experience on its own. And, I've been pulling through ever since.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So now matching that experience with the Nigerian film industry, what has it been like for you so far?
It's definitely, as an actor, you're working with different people all the time. So we're working with different people all the time, and it's definitely an experience. And you have to put yourself in a situation whereby you get used to your environment. So, I'm always constantly learning, and with everything going on, I was able to adjust.
Now, what you should know about Obi is Obi was in the UK till about 2017. 2017 was when he decided to come back to Nigeria. What made you decide to come back home?
First of all, I enjoyed, the way the direction Nollywood was going with all the stories that were coming up. And, Nigeria is my country, no matter where I go to. I thought about coming back to make, the industry better and bring what I've learned from the UK.
So what you've learned, have you been able to reflect it here?
In most cases, I've definitely learned from people as well. So I would say some of the things were kind of different. But I was able to bring what I've learned and learn from people and adjust to the surroundings and settings.
So earlier we were talking about the video we're actually watching and how you were telling us of how nervous you were shooting that and all of that. So you said that was your first?
Yeah, it was the first thing I did in Nollywood. It was nerve-wracking. I had this script. As an actor, you're always like constantly learning lines. And then I got on set and they were like, you know what? Let's just improvise the scene.
Oh wow!
So I just made fall down on the spot, and it was just very...
On the spot? Wow. One take? Because you couldn't have gotten it well.
We did several takes, but, it was generally, they give you an idea, okay, this is what you're meant to be saying, go with it. And I just suddenly found myself like an out-of-body experience, just saying things like, where is this coming from? But,
Wow. It's more a case of you've always prepared yourself for that moment unconsciously and even deliberately to an extent, considering the fact that you went to drama school and all. So journalism in Nigeria, very interested indeed. So when you told your folks you wanted to go into drama, I wonder, was there some kind of drama to follow up?
Actually, no. I pride myself on having very supportive parents. Like I said, I grew up with parents that work on TV, and as a kid, I've always been a film lover. I always had a huge imagination, imaginary friends, I always used to write when I was younger. I'll do like this, entertain my parents and their friends and everything. So it's definitely been something that I've always wanted to do. So when I told them that this was the decision this was the path I wanted to take, they were like, sure, they were very supportive.
Okay. Now, we know quite well that when movies are, taking place, actors have to look a certain way to match up. We just saw Obi on TV, looking like, like this. And then, of course, the role you had to act, by the way, Obi is the lead actor of Order of Things. Yes, The Order of Things. And so the role you had to take required you to look a certain way. Did you have to put yourself in that position, or 2020 helped?
I'll say it's a bit of both, the role was written for, what I looked like at the time. So luckily, everything just worked out. But a lot of research and work went into getting into character for that film.
Yeah, I can imagine the gaming part in particular.
Yeah, of course. So now, for you, what would you say it is long term? I mean, now you've always wanted to act. Now you're here acting. What other things would you say you have coming up, and what is your bigger picture for getting into the industry?
That's The Order of Things on TV, by the way. Yes, please.
Well, I'll definitely say that I definitely want to go into producing. It's something I've already started doing. I produced a stage play 2 years ago at the Lagos Fringe Festival, Chapters. A biographical play about my life.
Oh, nice.
It was very nerve-wracking because I had like my own family members watching it, live theater, So I definitely want to go behind the scenes, and I've definitely got some projects that I'm currently developing that I hope to, bring out very soon.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about The Order of Things. How did you get on it?
See, I'm always a firm believer of actors reaching out to producers, directors, people. First of all, even before I went into acting, like I said, I'm a film lover. So I would just sit down on TV, watch credits, who is behind this, who created this, and I would just reach out to people, hand out my CVs and stuff. And shout out to Mimi Bartels at Film One Entertainment. I'm always constantly reaching out to her. Most of the time she tells me, I have you in mind if something comes up. And then one day I just messaged her and she was like, we've been trying to cast this role and we don't know anybody else that can play it.
Wow.
Please come in for a screen test. We'd love to have you. And that's how it began.
Wow. And ever since, it's just been a role. Now, what doors have has this film opened for you? Because oftentimes when you do a movie, it tends to be like the opener and people are like, oh, but I've seen that guy in this other movie. Suddenly they remember you. What doors? Has it started opening doors?
Well, the film is currently in cinemas now, so I'll still say I'm still going through that whole experience, but I've definitely had people notice me outside and go, where have I seen you from, or that sort of thing. So I'm enjoying the experience so far.
Okay, still on The Order of Things. We know quite well that you played a particular role. You were quite an eater. And so we are just curious. That's exactly. Does it come naturally, or it was something you had to get into character for?
It comes naturally.
Okay. Very obvious.
That one is not a problem at all.
So when you saw the script, you're like, this is a walk in the park.
There's a scene where I'm eating rice. You know, you constantly have to take a lot of cakes, and I'm just like...
How many times they refill the plate?
Must have been like maybe 6-7 times.
I'm afraid of you. So it's a good thing that we even prepared breakfast for you.
Yep.
Chef Blossom has breakfast ready for you. Yes. So we will not, before you say, this is what you don't know is anybody. Who do I eat out of them?
We'll retake that particular scene.
She's closer.
We'll retake that particular scene of you eating. But it's not right today. It's yam, hot yam.
Anything, I can adjust. I'm good.
Oh, wow. Let's take a look at the trailer for the order of things.
You have to wait for your older brother to get married first.
Today, you've always been here for me. I hope you get married.
How exactly are you planning on doing that?
By getting married.
Please stop me from love.
Okay. Jinx.
Well, we're talking about the movie, that's why.
That was fine. Okay, so we're back here in the kitchen. So myself and Chef Blossom have been slaving away, making this porridge and chicken. And as I said, we react to that scene. Wait, we're rushing that rice.
No. Hey, this one I would love to see. I'm not even going to pay tickets. Wow, okay.
Okay, so Chef Blossom, I'll put this together for you, Yam Porridge. We'd like you to taste it and tell us what you think about it. So when you're ready, let us know.
Okay, all right.
Your time starts.
Mark. Go.
Tell us what you think.
Okay. This
seems like a glorious place.
It definitely does.
Oh.
We'll be here for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very juicy.
Now listen.
Break it down.
The contents in the food, you know,
Okay.
goes down nicely.
All right.
Very great.
You cook exactly.
Do you cook
right?
I could, but I enjoy eating more.
Yes.
Wow, thank
nice.
you so much. Thank you so
Amazing.
much for gracing the sit here. Such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us. And with that, it's a wrap on the show today.
Yes, so.
And I don't usually do this, but really, you should go watch it. Not because of Tokwe alone. Yes, our girl Tokwe alone.
Yes,
so that's why we're really hyped about it. But it's not a cheesy love story. You should see it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of Wake Up Nigeria today. Thanks to Chef Blossom for breakfast. We can't wait to dig it.
Yes.
Thanks to everyone who has been a part of the show, our guests, the crew, of course, and you for always watching. Absolutely. Have a fantastic day.
All right then, everyone.
Bye-bye.